Hey, what's up, everyone? Today I'll be going over A Midsummer Night's Dream, or rather, I'll be pre reading A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare, a very popular and probably one of the most commonly produced or frequently produced plays of Shakespeare. So I actually am I'm like 95% sure I've never read it, which allows me to kind of experience this for the first time on stream. I'm kind of looking forward to another Shakespeare after some Sylvia Plath because honestly, I just enjoyed Shakespeare's Hamlet a lot more than I enjoyed the Bell Jar, which we just went over. So I just kind of want to go back into Shakespeare and maybe have more. I don't know, just kind of dig more into the classics, at least for this summer. So right now, A Midsummer Night's Dream is the top of my backlog. I have some. Right now. I'm reading Anna Karenina for myself for fun, and besides that, I'm not. I am reading one other nonfiction book, but those are not books that I think are good to. Due to length, I don't think they're really good to do streams on. I'm starting to realize that for these streams, Uh, it's better to work with books that are known for being, or works of art that are known for being highly compressed, which the Bell Jar didn't feel very compressed. It felt, I felt like I was just sort of doing a lot of leisurely reading, but it's better if I can show something that's harder to understand and feels very tightly written, because the streams are just shorter, first of all, but second, I think there's more value in seeing how I read a hard work rather than just a relatively easy work like The Bell Jar. Okay, so that's a bit of a lesson from my previous streams. If you want me to consider other books that are not on this list, actually, I'm already realizing I probably don't want to do War and Peace and Infinite Jest. Odyssey weirdly could be higher up the list, but yeah, War and Peace and Infinite Jest are probably far too long and too epic to be appropriate for this kind of format. I'll just have to read them basically on my own, which probably knocks down Gone with the Wind as well. Now that I think about it, uh, yeah, I mean, I would rather. Yeah, I'd have to. Dang, I do want to do War and Peace, so I'm debating where to put things, but for now, this is the current ranking of books that I want to read for the stream, and I probably should come up with a checklist. So here, you know what? I might as well begin. Checklist or criteria. In development, work in progress. So I'm just thinking the first thing is whether difficulty. To be fairly difficult to read. Classic stature. Want it to be and compression. Something like that. So these are, I guess, the ideas that are at least in my head at the moment. Um, so let me know if you have any books or stories that you would like me to, or books or basically books. Let me know if there are any books you would like me to consider going forward, and I'll put them in my inbox. And as I think about the book more and more, I'll what do you call it? I'll change my ranking of them in the backlog. Okay, so A Midsummer Night's Dream. Let me do some pre-reading now. So let me start with everything that I currently know about A Midsummer Night's Dream. Okay, um, it's not a lot, so it'll end very quickly. Here's what I know: it's a comedy. I think Shakespeare wrote it kind of earlier in his career, and it's very popular. And I think there's fairies. That's all I know. And judging by this, judging by this picture, uh, I'm gonna guess it takes place in the forest. All right, that's all I know about A Midsummer Night's Dream. Let me actually get into the Wikipedia article first, just to cover my bases. I think 1595, 1596 is kind of early for Shakespeare. Um, Give me a sec. When did Hamlet come out? 1589 to 1613, right? So I see. His early plays were comedies and histories. He then wrote mainly tragedies. There we go. So this was before he started focusing on tragedies, I guess. Um, that might mean that the language is a little less developed, and it's maybe less dense than Hamlet was. Hamlet was just harder than I remembered it being. Than I remembered. Like, I was kind of surprised by how hard Hamlet was to read and understand. So I think this one would be, grammatically speaking, not as intense. Um, it says Theseus and Hippolyta get married. So I'm really bad with my Greek mythology, so I do want to do a bit of background uh, reading on this. And then there's a subplot: four lovers, and another subplot with six amateur actors. And they are in a forest inhabited by fairies. These four lovers and these six actors are in a forest. Okay. Theseus, right? Theseus is how I think I remember Theseus. Theseus. Um, this is how I think I remember my professor pronouncing it, Theseus. Um, and then I think this is like Theseus or something like that, right, in Greek. Um, Now, I'll call it Theseus just because I'm American, but I do want to remember Hypa. Wait, is this Hippolyta? No, that. Uh, Hippolyta. Hippolyta. Okay, that's apparently how they pronounce it. Hippolyta. 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 Uh, this one says Hippolyta. Okay, so I'll go with Hippolyta. 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 Wow, that's hard. Okay, I'm getting used to it. So with that out of the way, they get into so there's a wedding which I don't know about. So I should learn about this really quickly. And I feel like Theseus, I should just remind myself of Theseus's story because he's kind of like basic Greek mythology. So let's go here. Aegeus was childless. He got him drunk, got a daughter, Aethra. Let me zoom in a little bit. Where are we right now? Zoom in a little more. Here we go. Following the instruction of Athena in a dream. Oops. Whoa. She poured a libation to Sphyros, and this gave Theseus a combination of divine and mortal characteristics. There's a rock. I'm kind of ignoring this bit. He becomes a young man, moves the rock, recovers his father's tokens. This vaguely reminds me of Dragon Ball Z for some reason. Um, this is a pretty classic. This is like a classic narrative arc. Okay, kind of like a not quite a bastard child, right? But like a son estranged from his father, grows up, is very powerful. There's gonna be a sign of his power and his legitimacy, and he goes back and tries to regain acceptance. 6 entrances to the underworld. 6 labors. So this is similar to Hercules. Hercules. Um, there's like specific labors to kind of prove his heroism, to test his heroism, and and his wit. And I'm reading through this bit a little quicker because I'm not going to remember all these little bits. I'm trying to get to the wedding. He goes to Athens. He returns victorious, sacrifices the bull. Okay, he keeps like just winning at things, including apparently like a fight with a minotaur. Okay, 1 second, I'm getting a call, but I'm gonna ignore it for now. Uh, the father, believing he was dead, died by suicide, throwing himself off of a cliff. That becomes the GNC. Oh, okay. Interesting. Wait, after defeating the thing, he escapes. Okay, so there's a little bit of, yeah, these sort of the old tragic tropes coming from Greece here. Where do we get the wedding, dude? Oh, all the way down here. Okay. So he's a big Athenian hero by now. He had a best friend. I'm gonna probably skip most of this. Maybe I should read Metamorphoses, which I never did. Um, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and add that to my list right now. It is one of the most influential works in Western culture. It inspires basically a bunch of the Renaissance. Um, cool. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I should do it. It's written in dactylic hexameter. It's like the epic format. Crazy. I just never really even thought about reading this until now. So I'm actually gonna place this pretty high up. Theseus, a great abductor of women, pledged himself to marry daughters of Zeus. Theseus chose Helen, kidnapped Helen. Pirithous, how do you pi Pyrithous Thous. Actually, I don't know how to read this. I- Tho Thoas Thoas Rithous Rithous Pyrithous Thoas 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 Tho Thoas. Wow. Pyrithous Pyrithous. Oh my god, that's hard. Pyrithous Thoas Pyrithous Thoas Thoas Thoas. Okay, so we have Pyrithous, Theseus. Pyrithous chooses Persephone, stealing her from Hades. And yes, there's that whole thing. Theseus gets stuck in half darkness, fixed to a rock, rescued by Heracles. Phaedra, his second wife, daughter of King Minos. Phaedra fell in love with Hippolytus. Theseus' his own son. So like a stepson, like a half son. Hippolyta. Hippolyta. According to some versions, scorned Aphrodite's. Okay. Wow, this is insane. So complicated. And just gonna double check Sharath. Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm glad I could help you, man, and good luck with the June SAT. as the scores come out next week. In Euripides' version, Hippolyta what the heck? Okay, actually, this part is the important part, so I'm gonna read this. I should learn this part. Um, okay. Phaedra, right? Phaedra, or Phaedra. I'm gonna go with Phaedra. That's the first. That's the way. Pyrithous. Dude, this is insane. Pyrithous. That's so hard to pronounce. I guess with this little umlaut, it means you have to pronounce it that way. Nuts. Pyrithous.
Pyrithous.
Yeah, Pyrithous. Oh my god. All right, can't avoid it. Hippolyta. Pronunciation. Hippolyta pronunciation. Hippolyta. Lata. Hippolyta. Okay, I'll add the. Yes, I'll make the T a little stronger. All right. So hard. My God. Hippolytus. Okay, so Phaedra, Theseus's second wife, gives 2 sons to him. Phaedra then falls in love with Hippolytus. And Hippolyta is the first is an Amazon queen. Oh, I see. That's a whole separate thing. Hippolytus is the son. I got that backwards earlier. According to some versions, Aphrodite made Phaedra love with him, with her half son as a punishment. Or her stepson? What the heck? I don't even know. I don't know what to call that. Okay. Alternatively, Phaedra's nurse tells the son of her mistress's love, and he swore he would not reveal the nurse as a source of information to ensure she would die with dignity. Hippolytus, okay, raped her, believed her, curses his own son. Okay. Phaedra told Theseus that Hippolytus raped her, called upon Poseidon to kill his son. Death, okay, died out of suicide. Okay, there we go. So just a general all-around tragedy, but we don't get a lot about Phaedra here. So let's go find Phaedra. He, after decapitating the Minotaur, he escapes with Phaedra, abandons Ariadne, okay, so it doesn't really talk a lot about Phaedra here. No, Phaedra, I'm getting confused. Hippolyta. Let me go find Hippolyta. Oh, Hippolyta barely gets mentioned in this. I see. Oof. But the Phaedra bit is kind of important, I guess, anyway, to the general understanding of Theseus. Let's go find Hippolyta. Maybe this will be easier. Hippolyta was a queen of the Amazons, daughter of Ares, significant figure in the legends of Hercules and Theseus. She's connected to Wonder Woman, apparently, which I didn't know. But Wonder Woman is supposed to be kind of connected to the Amazons, sure. She apparently dies at the hands of Hercules. Okay. Powerful female leader. Hunting, riding, archery, warfare. Remove their right breast, which I vaguely remember. To draw their bows more easily. Right. Crazy. I forgot about that bit of mythology there. The second of the known Amazon queens. Hippolyta. Best known owing to the part she plays in famous myths. He kills his own wife and sons. 12 layers to complete. To get atonement. Now he meets the Amazons. Okay. Hercules eventually came to Themyscira, depending, okay, to seek an audience of Hippolyta. She met with him. Why he needs her girdle, I see. Actually, I want to know what a girdle looks like. Okay, wait, duh. Wow, yeah, I forgot about that. Girdle of Hippolyta. That's a weirdly plump Amazonian. All right. Oh, there's just no real. Okay, the depictions are pretty garbage. All right, it's just something she wears, and there's not very good depictions of it. All right, I'm just gonna let it be. The jealousy of the goddess Hera. So Hippolyta takes pity on him and gives it to him. And he kills the. Okay. Wow. So that's kind of intense. Deception leading to death. Deception leading to death. Wow, I forgot about the Greek tragedies. They're always like that. So much deception. Theseus had traveled with Hercules to retrieve the girdle and either abducted Antiope and sure. Okay, will this name be important? Might as well learn how to pronounce it. Antiope. Antiope, 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 Antiope. Wow, it's Greek name pronunciations are really hard. Okay, holy crap. Antiope. Falling in love with one another. Her leaving. Okay, so either he abducts or is given or willingly or falls in love with her. Yet many accounts don't name this woman as Antiope, but Hippolyta herself. He brought her to Athens and gets a son, Hippolytus. Then the Amazons attack Athens in the Attic War. Enraged reaction to Theseus setting aside Hippolyta. Okay. Whatever the case, most accounts that don't describe Hippolyta's death place it during the conflict between the Athenians and the Amazons. Okay. Oh. Whew. And then there's a whole thing about whether Hippolyta was fighting alongside or against Theseus. Hippolyta, spurned by the marriage of Phaedra, was the one leading the Amazons. Okay. Plutarch says actually if Theseus only married Phaedra once, that they were already dead. Okay. So we are interpreting what kind of person Theseus is by the way he reacts to his situation with his two wives. Amazonomachyes. All right. These are cool, I guess. Amazonomachyes. So a bunch of these are okay. So this is a trope of Greek art, fighting the Athenians. Fighting the Amazons. Interesting. That's a cool little bit of like. It's a cool bit of history that was part of their art and mythology. This whole like Amazon culture. Okay. Also noteworthy is her appearance in A Midsummer Night's Dream, where she's depicted. Okay, so I'm actually kind of curious which angle Shakespeare takes on this. Ooh, mosquito. Eh. Where's my, It's not here, it used to be here. I just came back home, but my house is an absolute disarray right now because my roommate has had complete free reign, and now I don't know where things are. All right, I don't know. Deal with it later. In the Shakespeare version, she's depicted as planning her wedding ceremony to Theseus. He has abducted Hippolyta from a battlefield, and he's awaiting his wedding. Came from Plutarch. Okay. And now it's best known for Wonder Woman. So Plutarch wrote what exactly? Huh. Hmm. That's also interesting. Theseus is the first one. I see. It starts with Theseus and then goes into like uh f- rulers and philosophers and okay. Oh, and there's like a comparison between Greek and Latin lives. Oh, that's kind of cool. Huh. I see. It's kind of a cool reinterpretation of a Greek myth here, Wonder Woman. I didn't know that about Wonder Woman. So because I'm not really into the Marvel and DC worlds. Um, but now it turns out I just don't know a lot about like Greek mythology, and maybe I should catch up on it. So, should I add parallel lives to the to the backlog? I'm less interested in this one, but I would probably put it down here maybe. Parallel lives, Plutarch. Okay, so that was all. That was all just me learning background on Theseus and Hippolyta. Okay, let's go and learn a little bit more about the background of this story and see what people like about it. 5 interconnecting plots connected by a celebration of the wedding of Duke Theseus and the Amazon Queen Hippolyta. It's which happens in 2 places at the same time, in fairyland and in the woodland and the realm of fairyland. Okay. I'm gonna kind of. Oh, Peter Quince. Okay. I know this name from a poem, but I actually didn't know um, the poem was referring to Midsummer Night's Dream. I like looks like I just need to read more Shakespeare and Greek mythology right now to catch up and be more like a proper English lit major. Okay, I'm not gonna read all these synopses because it's not really that important for me right now. I just want to get at what people like about the poem and about the work, and what really excites people to read this kind of thing. The Knight's Tale, the Canterbury Tales. The Knight's Tale is also sort of a classic. Do I want to read this? It's the first one from the Canterbury Tales. Okay, might as well add it. Probably already completed Romeo and Juliet and was still in contemplation of The Merchant of Venice. Early middle period, he devoted primary attention to the lyricism of his works. I see. And so lyricism is going to be a major theme here when we come to analyzing his actual the qualities of this play. Don't really need all this. I'm gonna skim this. Still kind of want to know, but I don't really want to be so intellectual yet about this. I want to know more of what gets people excited. Long before the creation of the Christian celebrations of St. John's Day, there was a festival, summer solstice, Aphrodite. What? Why is this even being mentioned right now? Okay. David Bevington argues that the play represents the dark side of love. He was actually my professor. I attended his class. That was a long time ago. Wow. He writes that the fairies make light of love by mistaking the lovers. Right. Okay, so carnivalesque is a literary mode that subverts and liberates the assumption of the dominant style or atmosphere through humor and chaos. It's interesting. So there's going to be a lot of chaos, and we're going to make fun of things that are supposed to be pretty serious. Okay, this is too it's too intellectual. Gonna move on. It's interesting though. There's a lot of different angles on this play, so that's kind of interesting. It's exciting. Even though I'm not getting into every single one of these paragraphs, it's kind of just exciting that there's been so much that's been said about it. Um, so if I were to go back and reread it, I'd be able to get more and more out of this. Is kind of the suggestion. Uh, and plus, when you watch like a play, you can see the different interpretations play out in the actors, um, in the acting rather. So that makes this a more interesting, more complex thing to read. Okay, I'm not. I'm gonna skip all this. I'm gonna skip all of these themes because now it's just too intellectual. I haven't even read the thing yet. I'm trying to focus more on emotional. I just want to see where people really enjoy the thing, for example, or hate the thing. This person, Samuel Pepys, a naval administrator, considered it the most insipid, ridiculous play that I ever saw in my life. Handsome woman. Whether fairies should be depicted in plays since they did not exist. Okay. I want to know people. Puerile plot. There we go. Odd, mixture. Oh, whereas somebody likes the poetry, the wit, the verse itself. Proper decorum. Okay. Uh, delightful fiction, but doesn't like the actual staging of it. It's Samuel Taylor Coleridge saw the whole thing as a dream. Dudes, everyone's had so many opinions about this thing. That actually makes me more excited to read this thing. I mean, people have had so many reactions to this poem, to this play. Okay, just gonna keep going. This is getting a little too intellectual right now. Heroic men of action. One thing that, even though I'm kind of skipping over all this, I'm seeing how the years just keep increasing, right? One of the things that makes a classic so interesting to really get into is that you really become part of a centuries long conversation about the work, right? And you get to participate in that. You get to participate in a debate that has been going on for far, far longer than you've been alive, or even your parents have been alive. And that I think that makes a work special. That staying power that it has, me, assuming that there's disagreement, and there almost always is disagreement about what it means, or what makes it good, or what makes it bad, right? That allows you to come into it and try to stake out your own claim, and make your own arguments about what's good or bad about it. So yeah, that's exciting. I'm again, now we're really going through like the entire history of the critical positions on the play, but I'm gonna keep moving forward. I'm not gonna read all of this. I'm gonna skip most of this because I do want to go to modern readers' reactions, probably on Goodreads as soon as possible. A Christian view, psychology. Yeah, okay. Therapeutic. All right. I'm not gonna get into history too much. There's various stagings. I won't do this right now, but yes, it's one of the most it's one of the most popular productions ever. So I'll go over that. All right, let's go into Goodreads now. Wow. $3.95. All right, let's see. Okay, it's just a general shit show, and gets just complicated and ridiculous. Okay, so that's the general structure of this story, it seems like. I'm gonna move forward to reactions. Here we go. How to Flirt, Shakespeare style, 248 likes. Elope with your love in a fairy wood. Follow your friends into the fairy wood with your ex-fiance. Follow your friends into the fairy wood with your ex-fiance, who you still pine over, even though he loves another woman. Become entranced by magic flower juice and chase after the wrong girl until you fall over with exhaustion. Call your girl an acorn. So this is like a humorous summary of what happens in the story, and I don't know the story, so I don't fully understand the joke here, but um, it seems ridiculous. Your ex fiance is truly the one you love. Have a double wedding with your lover, your friend, and the F boy who used to love you. Okay. Okay. Double wedding is the ending. Okay. That's sounds wild. Um, this is just like a Wikipedia article. Um, that Helena is a bitch. I know the big draw for this play is all the fairy goings on. So I didn't know that actually. Apparently the fairies makes this play fun to watch. Rereading, re-listening, I was more interested in the insane inner workings of Helena's mind. Get this, Hermia, Lysander, love. Hermia's dad wants her to marry Demetrius. Dads are weird about that. Yes. This dad is petty. Sorry, I see a mosquito. I'm just gonna wait for it to. What happened to my thing? Um, I'm gonna just do a quick scan to see if I have my mosquito net. Ah, okay. All right, I took care of the mosquito. Let's go back. Demetrius is loathed by Hermia, and Helena is obsessed with Demetrius. And the dad is gonna send her to a convent or have her killed. So Hermia and Lysander run off, and Helena's a bitch because she's a level 10 clinger. He finds. Oh, rats her best friend out to Demetrius because she wants Demetrius to find. Okay. Yeah, that makes no sense. That really doesn't make sense. And then the fairies, which have. Okay. Lots of. Heard this story. I don't know if I've actually. I don't think I've ever heard this story. I actually don't know this story very well. This is actually wild. Um, Alice, I know it's one more week. Hang on, hang on, hang in there. Okay, so it's that was just like but this was fun. This little review was fun, just largely because you can see that she gets really annoyed with a character. So I want to know now. Now I'm primed to think about this character, and I'm gonna think about my own feelings about this character, about this Helena character. Um, Also, it's highly recommended. Okay, so whenever I see all these like big fancy words, I just sort of skip. I mean, it's just like I don't want my brain to be turned on. I want to have more emotional stimulation here. So I want to see what's interesting here. Lightness. Okay, this is just a big block of text. Oh my god. Paragraphs, please. Love it. Still haven't seen it live. I love reading the language. There's magic in the words. Okay. Oberon is a jerk face and a horrible husband, and I'm gonna skip this bit. But some people hate Oberon, so I guess part of the appeal of this play is to find people to hate, to find characters to hate. Um, feel sorry for Demetrius. Okay. And I think one of the things that's fun about plays and fun about Shakespeare, can't speak right now, Shakespeare, is that because you don't get an insight into what they're thinking or feeling, you only see their actions and their speeches. You really, it's a lot of your like or dislike of a character is based on your interpretation of that character, and that leaves a lot of room for interpretation, a lot of room for discussion and debate, and that is very fun. I've noticed this with Hamlet. It's really hard to just settle down on one specific interpretation, which makes this much more. It feels like a collaborative thing. Like when you read a Shakespeare play, it feels like you would want to read with somebody else so that you can talk about it. Take this over Hamlet, Macbeth, or Romeo. One of my favorite quotes is, so these are the kind of sort of personal touches that I really look for when I'm doing pre-reading. I just want to hear, what really moved you, man? Like what really made you want to what really makes you love this thing? I see their knavery to fright me if they could, but I will not stir. I will walk up and down. I will sing. Yeah, so this helped her just like in her life. A fairy fantasy sandwiched between a love story. The best part of the story is the love story part, which is actually the opposite of what somebody else said. Somebody else earlier was saying that the fairy part is what draws everyone. We have a gay take on the film, and it's hilarious. Apparently, a modern movie. Were the world mine? Wants to read this every year. Lord, what fools these mortals be! Amazing. Enjoyed it. Fun. Okay, so we're gonna have a lot of fun here. This is spoilers. Should I? Oh, a bunch of random notes. Okay. Okay. I guess, and hilarious is actually right there. I guess, yeah. I guess really we're just gonna read. Um, the thing that I'm getting from this all is that the whole story is pretty ridiculous. There's going to be a bunch of characters, and the plots sort of interweave. And so, really, you're just watching a kind of farcical, I don't know, like a shit show take place. And you're kind of just, I guess you just get kind of intimate with the different characters that there are, and pick and choose who you like and who you don't like, as as a sort of general pandemonium ensues, and then everything gets wrapped up in the end with like a double wedding, which sounds ridiculous as well. And there's like the so I think out of just sort of a gut level, the fun of this story is going to come from number one, language, and number two, the ridiculousness of the proceedings and the characters themselves, right? And um, the language wasn't mentioned too much in the Goodreads, but apparently this is from the time period when Shakespeare was really focusing on the on his lyricism. So we'll see how his language comes through, and I'm excited about that because I like reading Shakespeare. Um, but also, I'm kind of ready for something light and easy. I just came off of reading The Bell Jar, which wasn't as heavy as people made it out to be. It was just sort of, you know, sad, I guess. uh, but but I want something more fun, more engaging, and that is what I think I'll get from this one. So, um, besides that, I mean, I don't know, fairies, fairies. So it looks like that's basically what I'm going to be looking for, and I'm looking forward to just having a sort of chill read for a while. I don't expect this to read as be as difficult as Hamlet was because this was written earlier. I expect the verse to be a little bit more straightforward. So hopefully that makes it easy for me to keep this up, even though I'm going through a rough summer teaching schedule. I should be able to keep it up, keep my schedule going. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next week when I start on Act 1. This will be fun. I mean, it seems like a lot of people have a lot of fun with this story. So I'm, yeah, this should be fun. All right, guys, if you want to read along with me, just make sure to read Act 1 by next week. And more likely, not more likely than not, but there's a fair chance that you've already read this story before. Even then, just like skim through Act 1, remind yourself what happens, and then I'll go and read the whole thing on the stream next week, same time. All right, guys, until next time, keep on learning, keep on growing. That's it for me today. Peace.